Hello, Furnaces North America fans out there. We are so excited to be here today. As you know, October 14th to the 16th is Furnaces North America, the premier and largest trade show and technical conference in 2024 for the commercial heat treating and captive industry out there. It's going to be just a plethora of information, what's new, what's coming, what's AI, what's out there in the future. And you want to be there because you're going to have 150 suppliers, just like the one we're focusing on today. So as you see, we've been doing these technology showcases where we focus on our title sponsors who are helping us sponsor and put on a great show at Furnaces North America. Today, we have Stephen Christopher from Super Systems out there. Stephen, say hello to everybody.
Hey, Tom. Hey, everybody. How are you doing?
So, Stephen, tell people listening in a little bit about Super Systems and what y'all specialize in.
Yeah. So, we started a long time ago with, sensors, carbon probes, and different instrumentation and analyzers to support the heat treat market. And then we've just grown into a company that continues to do all of those things, continues to improve and develop, where we got started, but also, tie in software and other technologies just to really make everybody's life easier.
Making everybody's life easier is getting so tough today, right? Because we've got labor shortage, decarbonization, air quality standards, audit compliance. It's just a plethora of things that heat treaters every day have to wake up and deal with. And it's because of suppliers like you and the others that are MTI members that really help them do what they do well. So what are you hearing in the marketplace from customers out there about the future, AI, data, compliance out there, just all the issues? What do they need to be thinking about to do all that stuff well in the future?
Right. So the old crystal ball question right out of the gate, Tom. So let me kind of break this into a few parts. Talking about the future, I think we got to start with what we need to be aware of. And I suppose we all need to be aware of the green energy push. Decarbonization is going to be difficult for our industry for a lot of reasons. Perhaps most of all, the entire concept is still more of an idea than something we can read and comply with. Specs drive everything we do, and no one really knows how this is going to play out. Is it going to be enforced by primes or by the government? Will it be reward-based or punitive? Will compliance create opportunities to bid certain jobs, or will it result in tax incentives? I've got my own opinions, but these are questions we all want answered. And this is why we're so excited to attend FNA. It gives us a chance to see what direction the industry is heading and then prepare for it ourselves. Our team is focused on staying one step ahead of these types of things, meaning we're working today on green solutions for tomorrow, even if we don't know exactly what that will look like. So this could mean improving upon existing technologies or creating new ones. But at SSI, we've got a strong commitment to advancing technology and reducing carbon footprint. The second part, I guess, would be, what we need to be aware of. It's what do we got to be preparing for? And you touched on it. This is where I'm a bit pessimistic, but I do see labor as the challenge of the decade. We all are going to be forced to do more with less, but where chaos exists, so does opportunity. Some are going to successfully navigate this, and others are going to avoid the reality and struggle as a result. Of course, a big way to do more with less is to improve efficiency, and efficient things are often automated. So I'm excited to visit Columbus this fall, not only as an exhibitor, but as an attendee. I want to see what others are doing in terms of automation. Of course, looking inward a bit, automation is a big part of what we do. Our goal is to improve visibility into systems, allowing users to be, more efficient and, maybe operate all of their equipment with, 3 operators instead of 5, something along those lines. This is just one small example of doing more with less. But no doubt decisions companies make today will give them the competitive edge in the future. And the first step in that process is research. And that's what people can do at FNA. See what options are out there. Shifting gears a bit, I know your group is trying to bring awareness to our industry and attract new talent to the labor pool. Yeah. So I'm excited to see MTI's, Jobs of Tomorrow videos rolling at the show. And finally, what's going to change, right? That's what we're talking about with the future. I love the sayings, the only constant in life is change. So something's going to change. We just talked about carbon footprint and labor, which we know those are going to change. Certainly some spec is going to change as well. But those are all external. What about internally? What changes for one company, may be stable or not important for another. Perhaps somebody loses a key worker, but somebody else lands a huge contract. That's another reason why I get so excited for FNA. Where else can you visit so many suppliers, as you said, under one roof? And when those changes happen, especially if they're surprises, it's sure nice to have walked that floor so you know who to call and understand what options even exist. You know,
Yeah,
good.
that's the one thing I really love about FNA too. The thought of walking into a trade show hall with 150 top suppliers of everything you could imagine. And it's kind of like going, as one of our members said, it's like the Disney World of heat treating. And you can go see one thing, go, man, I want to go compare that to the other one. You can't do that in your office very efficiently. It's the most productive and effective use of your time for 2 days that I think you could ever spend in your business, because you get to see the latest of what's coming in the future right there in front of you all day for 2 days.
Well, hey, if we're going to call this the Disneyland of heat treat, maybe we need to do the Disney cruise on the next FNA, and we
There you go.
had a 2 to
Yeah.
3 day event there.
I don't know, man. Cruising's funny. It's like country music. You either love it or you hate it.
I've never done it, so the jury's still out for me.
So speaking of FNA, I don't want you to give away your secret sauce, but what are you excited to bring when we talk about those labor shortages, the automation, those things, AI? What is Super Systems excited to bring to the table in FNA to show the customers, hey, we're the company to do business with. We've got solutions.
Yeah, so a lot of new things for us this year, a lot of improvements. But I think let's start with AI, because that's what I'm most excited about. And I think AI is going to create the opportunity to do so many things, from reducing costs to improving automation, growing companies, all that. But within SSI, we talk about AI at every meeting. Sometimes it's not the focus, but it's always part of the conversation. And let me illustrate just an example of data collection. A big part of what we do. There's 2 parts to this process, right? First, you have to gather the data, then you have to do something with it.
Right.
And building that foundation is a big part. And by that, I mean putting in place hardware, controls, et cetera, that allow you to do that. So this is a big undertaking, but these are the kind of questions and things people can be asking at FNA as you're talking about replacing controllers. What the route you're going, does it support communications? Can you access data? Does it play nice with other controllers? But where AI comes in is once that foundation is in place, we have our super data software suite, which collects data and makes it accessible. But sometimes the hard part is what you do after you've collected the data, right? Right now, you kind of have to go through and, create reports and, manage things in a very specific way. And that all exists, but it's not really accessible to everyone outside of an IT background. So what I think AI is going to change the industry is, instead of having to rely on others, you'll just be able to access data more freely. You can type into your computer, hey, tell me my % utilization for all the equipment. Actually, forget that. Tell me only the endothermic furnaces, or tell me only the endothermic furnaces during first shift between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. AI is going to allow us to do all of this thing. And really, it's just going to make data so much more accessible. And as far as what we're working on, of course, we're trying to implement that into what we do.
Right.
So we're working on ways to maybe make the chart review more efficient. If we can get our controllers to run the recipe and then super data to know the specs, with the click of a button, AI is going to be able to tell us if the entire run ran to spec or if it deviated. And this bit of automation is going to improve upon the efficiencies we just talked about, requiring less time to review charts, ultimately saving money. Another opportunity for AI exists with training. Heat treat, along with every other industry, is facing a problem where a large group's entering retirement, and their departure is going to take with them a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
So, 10 years ago, what do? You hire somebody, you train them for 5 years, and then you hope they don't leave, right? But as we're bringing on new people, whether it's watching a video on YouTube or some other electronic way to learn, can you imagine an SSI controller that you walk up to it and you just ask it, hey, how do I apply an offset into this controller? Or what's the maximum offset I can put in per some spec? These are the types of things that AI is going to allow us to do. And, we're excited to develop that. I think AI is also really interesting with predictive maintenance. We all care about downtime, as it's costly, right? But none of us are really good at deciding when is it time to take a money-making furnace out of operation to perform maintenance. And a lot of these control platforms now include, basic predictive maintenance, but AI is going to take this to the next level. We're working to combine software, controls, sensors, et cetera, to create a playbook of success for everybody. And that can be anything from improving efficiency to eliminating those surprises and ultimately reducing maintenance costs and downtime. And let me share one last example. And I like this one perhaps because I think it was conceived at an FNA event a few, maybe 6 or 8 years ago. I can't remember. But of course, everybody attending cares about efficiency, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know utilization and, you know, how effective are we operating on the floor. And what we found 8 years ago was, you know, kind of historically, this was like a paper exercise, right? People would run these reports, submit them to management, but it lacked teeth. And by that, I mean, we talked about equipment as being either in production or idle. So we knew when they were running and we knew when they weren't running, but we didn't know what was happening in the timeline. So like I said, this guy comes to our booth, whenever that was, a few years ago, and he kind of brings up this idea of really of what we have now come to call gap analysis. But it took utilization from binary terms, right? I'm either in operation or not, and it turned it into this full spectrum that we got now. And we came up with a real simple way in that for operators in real time to assign why equipment wasn't in production. You know, was it down because of maintenance or calibration or survey? Really, whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's what we identified as this gap. And we integrated this into our load entry software, and, you know, which is now available to everybody. And they just start using it. So this customer that came up with this problem, they're in California, and they, you know, they ran this gap report after the first month, and they found out the guys were waiting on fixtures. It always, you know, was in front of their eyes, but it was never visible to them, right?
Right.
And so they bought some baskets, and immediately their utilization goes through the roof. But I think that that's really exciting because it's a great example of how you can collect all the data you want, but if it's not presented in a meaningful way, it's not going to accomplish much. And that's what AI is going to help us do. And it's also a great example of SSI listening to our customers to develop real world solutions. So I could go on for hours about this, but, you know, to keep the video chat here a bit timely, I'll say just please stop by our booth at SSI, and, you know, we'll show you how we're innovating the industry.
So speaking of stopping by your booth, so every commercial and captive heat treater watching this show right now, what would you say to them as to why they should make the investment to come to Furnaces North America?
Oh, it's simple, because we're all busy. Everyone watching this video is going to be busy, right? And if you are, that's all the more reason to attend. You know, if you're the owner, if you're involved in purchasing new capital projects, where else can you visit every supplier under one roof? If you're a metallurgist, where else can you discuss solutions to your problems? You know, if you're in quality or engineering, you know, where else can you interact with so many talented companies and individuals and learn what those, you know, what your options are? FNA surrounds you with thousands of people that care about the same things as you, and attending allows you to connect with, you know, others in ways you just can't on a phone call. So even if you can only attend a single day, I really encourage everyone to take time from their hectic schedules and join the rest of us in Columbus. I promise it's going to save you time in the long run, and you might have some fun while you're there.
That's awesome. Stephen, thank you for being with us today. So attendees out there, I want you to take one step today. I want you to go to furnacesnorthamerica.com, click the hotel button, book your rooms 2 nights on the Monday and Tuesday. Then I want you to click the registration button and register. I promise you, as Stephen said, that you will not regret being there. You're going to see 150 plus suppliers, 35 technical sessions that'll deep into the information that you need to know for the future and today for your solution. So we look forward to seeing you there. Remember, furnacesnorthamerica.com, hotel registration, and you're in, and you come enjoy the 3 most exciting days. It's going to help you propel yourself from 2025 and the rest of this decade. So thank you very much. We will see you in Columbus, Ohio on October 14th to the 16th.